They wrapped it in black nylon, placed it in a waste bin down the street, and returned home relieved. But 20 minutes later, as they jizzed in the sitting room, Toke's eyes widened. She screamed. LABUBU was back. Sitting on the chair, the same odd smile on its face. Same smile. Same position. But now, it looked like its eyes were wet. The next morning, fear was written on their faces. Debbie barely slept. Amoka looked pale. Toke had prayed all night with her mother's anointing oil, but nothing worked. LABUBU was still in the living room, smiling. "We need to take it back to that man in Yoba," Toke said firmly. "Yes," Debbie agreed. "Let him collect this thing and refund us. Or at least take it away from us." They grabbed the toy, wrapped it again in nylon like it was a dead body, and entered the boat. The driver kept glancing in his mirror as the girls argued in low tones. Even he could feel something was off. They got down at the same street, the one behind the vintage stores. But something was wrong. The path that once led to the small kiosk was now blocked. Old zinc sheets covered the entrance. The stall itself was gone. "Are we in the wrong place?" Amoka asked. "No, this is the same corner," Toke replied, confused. They approached a meat seller nearby. "Sorry, Oga, please, where is that small toy shop that used to be here?" The man wiped his knife, looked at them, and said, "Toy shop. Madam, this place not for foodstuff and second-hand clothes. Nobody they sell toy here." The girls froze. Another woman selling tomatoes overheard them. "You girls say toy shop? For here? Since when? We know they get that kind thing for this side of market. But we bought a toy here just last week." Debbie shouted. A Malam sitting under a tree looked up slowly and said, "Many people don't they come here they talk that same thing. Say them see shop we no dey." Goosebumps ran through their skin. They asked around. Everyone said the same thing. No one had ever seen a man selling toys there. "But we saw him," Toke screamed. "He sold us this thing. Obi them use jazz for our eyes," Amoka whispered. Debbie unwrapped the nylon. "Maybe if we leave it here." "Don't open it here," someone shouted from across the road. It was the same old woman who warned them the first day. She pointed at them with shaking fingers. "You people no listen. Now it has followed you." "Who followed us?" "Madam, what is this thing?" Toke cried. The woman simply shook her head and turned away. Behind them, the nylon moved slightly on its own. Back in Debbie's apartment, the air was heavy. LABUBU was back on the table, out of the nylon, staring at them. "But I wrapped it myself," Amoka said. "We left it in the market," Debbie added. They were shaking. Toke dropped to the floor, sobbing. "This thing is ruining our lives. I've lost everything I worked for all these years." Suddenly, Amoka stood up. "Let's burn it." "No," Debbie said slowly. "Let's drown it in the lagoon." They stared at the toy. Its grin was still there, but now, it looked wider. And its tiny hand was pointing them. The next morning, the girls met at the third mainland bridge. They had wrapped LABUBU tightly in black nylon, tied it with rope, and placed it inside a Gonomos-Go bag filled with stones. Nobody talked much during the ride. They were exhausted, confused, and scared. Lagos was still waking up, yellow buses honking, hawkers shouting, but for the girls, the world felt like it was closing in. "This is it," Toke whispered. They walked quietly to the edge of the bridge, made sure no one was watching, and flung the bag into the water. It disappeared instantly beneath the waves. No splash. No trace. Gone. They didn't speak as they entered their boat back home. There was a strange peace, like they had finally freed themselves. Or so they thought.